Peace, Prince Ash here, back again with another vlog. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop a comment, whatever you feel like doing. I don't really care, to be honest, anymore. But I do like making these videos, and this is one. So if you aren't aware, I went to Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean when I was 18, and prior to that I was hanging around in Galway a lot, like the city, town in particular, the city centre, like out drinking, and there'd always be loads of people out every night, and I'd fucking recognise everyone. And you know, there was people who were like celebrities in Galway that everyone knew, that were always out and about, like popular people, so to speak. And Spanish Arch, Middle Arch, in front of the museum there was always a spot where everyone kind of congregated, and I remember Spanish Arch being fucking full, packed to the rafters with people out drinking and stuff. So I went to Reunion, I fecked off. I was running away from myself, to be honest. I was running away from myself, trying to find a better life, and it didn't work out. I have a video about that, so I'll link it in the description. And when I came back, I had a couple of nights out in Galway. I had one night out in Galway, which didn't go well for me. At least it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be, but it wasn't a great night anyway. And yeah, I was kind of afraid of my peer group in Galway. I was like ashamed of myself. Yeah, all because of addiction. Like, you know, I literally, I just had a sense of paranoia and a false sense that everyone hates me, and the people that did treat me nice, they kind of compensated a little bit and was acting real nice to me, and thinking like, oh, the poor lad, I'll be nice to him. And I hated being treated differently like that, so I found that embarrassing, and I was like, fuck this, I don't want any part in this. I'm just fucking not coming back to Galway. I'm gonna set up life elsewhere. In the meantime, I went to rehab like 5 times, went and lived with a load of different people, burned all my bridges, relapse after relapse in rehab and shit, until I ended up coming back to Galway City with nowhere to go. And I basically ended up in a homeless shelter. In Ireland they're called hostels. So I was in a homeless shelter in Galway City, and I was drinking again, and I was out and about in town, and all these people that I was afraid of seeing because I was so hurt inside, I noticed it was like, oh, I'm not seeing these people anywhere. And I started thinking like, maybe they're staying inside all the time like me. Or fucking maybe they're just not going out anymore. And I'd go to like Spanish Arch when I was drunk, expecting to bump into a load of people, and no one was there. I went in front of the museum, sat there drinking cans like a sad arse. I suppose I was anticipating meeting people, which I did one time. I bumped into people. And for whatever reason, up until recently, I thought maybe the cops have dispersed people from here, and it's not cool anymore to sit in Spanish Arch drinking and shit, and in front of the museum and stuff, and around the town even, and in bars and pubs. And yeah, I thought these people, they must be my peers. I'm saying these people, but my friends and peers. Jesus, they are my friends. It's just we haven't communicated or connected in a while, most of us. It's the way it is. But fucking, I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Fucking, where is everyone? And it took for me to reconnect with an old friend, someone who I considered once as my best friend. We hadn't spoken for years. Beautiful story. We reconnected. I bumped into him in town, and he hit me up after on Facebook, was like, oh, that was you, yeah, how are you doing, let's meet up. And met up with him, went for a walk, had a chat, and I was like, I'm not bumping into a lot of people. I was expecting to bump into loads of people when I'm out and about in Galway, but 9 times out of 10 when I'm on Shop Street and walking around and shit, like, I bump into people that I know now, but not from that peer group. Like, where is everyone? And he was like, oh yeah, they've all emigrated. 2 out of 3 people he said, this is a direct quote from him, 2 out of 3 people I knew growing up that way in that peer group, they've just left Australia, UK, Canada, America, Europe. They're all gone. They don't see Anton here anymore. Like, I don't think he said that, but like, that's the reality of it. Like, for young people, we don't really see Anton in Ireland anymore, or Galway, and want to feck off and earn real money and be able to afford to buy a house and have fun and all that shit. Which is pretty sad, like, because then it made sense to me. I was like, fuck, that's why I'm not bumping into people anymore. They're all gone, like, fucking hell, man. So, yeah, it's sad that that's the case, like, and I have several cousins that are gone, and I don't know if they'll come back. Like, I hope they do, but some of them might never come back. That's also the reality of it. Like, so in conclusion, I won't say in conclusion, but my response to this is fuck the government and fuck you for putting us in this situation where the better option is to leave the country. And it fucking hell, man, for the first time in ages I was like, I want to fucking leave now. Australia is probably fucking great crack. That's where everyone is over there drinking and shit. And well, then I got thoughts like, you know, I was getting the devil in the ear kind of thoughts, like, you know, if you went to Australia, maybe you could have a drink and be normal and get away with it. But that's just my addiction, those thoughts. That's part of my condition, and they won't fool me anymore, like, you know, because I just can't drink normally. And I even got thoughts like, I was watching the football today, and I was like thinking, oh, if you had a pint or two, the football would be fucking great, wouldn't it? And that's also just a fucking another lie that I'm telling myself, or my addiction is telling me, because if I had a drink or two in me, the truth is I wouldn't give a bollocks about the football. The World Cup final, arguably, it was a 2022 World Cup final, was France and Argentina, arguably the best World Cup final of all time. Where was I? I was in a blackout. I had planned to enjoy the football in the pub. I blacked out, and I ended up down pretty much by the courthouse for no good reason, hanging around with a stranger drinking beer. When I sobered up, I was like, fuck's sake, I just missed that. Like, so no, I can't have a drink and enjoy the football, but I get these thoughts. Anyway, yeah, fuck the government, fuck the situation we're in, and I have said I'm going nowhere. I'm not, and I am not to be intimidated. That means I'm staying put in Ireland, and I guess I'm facing my fears and building up the best life I can for myself in Galway. I've said that before. Um, and I think I can do that, and I think I can. Uh, I think I can profit from that spiritually and mentally. Physically, physical profits would be money. I don't really give a shit about money or the American dream or the Irish dream or whatever. Or getting a high paying job, it doesn't really mean shit to me, you know. But who knows? Maybe in the future. Maybe. And yeah, it sucks because I was seeing a girl there over the summer, and one of the reasons I kind of cut it off with her is she's planning on emigrating next year. And I did have a feeling in my gut like she wasn't the right one for me. Even though she was a lovely girl, I wish her well. But yeah, she's emigrating. Yeah, it seems like everyone is. It's really fucking weird and shitty. And it's one thing I don't know how I didn't realise earlier. I thought people were just hanging out elsewhere where I somehow didn't go, but they're not in Galway anymore, and that's sad because we had good times. Had some shitty times as well, but like, fucking, I care about them and kind of miss them. Like, even though I've resentments against some of them, which is my own shit to deal with. I will deal with that, and I am. But yeah, for anyone that's still in Galway, big up. We're in it together, the last survivors, I guess. It's not like I have a choice. I don't have any money, pretty much. I don't have a job. I don't have an... Excuse me. I don't have a job. I don't have an education. I don't have nothing. So, I can't go anywhere. I'm homeless. I have accommodation I'm living in, and I can't leave it because that's the process of things. I literally I just can't leave. My family's here, my mother's here. Maybe in the future I will leave, I don't know. I'm not financially secure or comfortable, or I have my medical issues. I'm making excuses actually, but you know what? Deep down I know the best thing for me is to stay here for now. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah. It's kind of a big deal for me that like so many young people are leaving the country. Like, I think it's a disgrace. Like, I think it's I'm outraged that that's the case for a lot of people. Not that they left. I'm not angry at them. I'm angry that's the situation that, I've been told by like people that, oh, there's nothing here for me. Why would I stay? And there is nothing here for them, Seems like people think there's no life here for them. And it's bizarre, and yeah, I'm a little bit shocked, and I'm saddened by it. Yeah, yeah. I said outraged earlier. I am. I'm outraged, and yeah, I don't think it's kind of said enough, and there's a lot of worrying things going on in this day and age in this country, which I'll speak about some other shit another time, but for now I'm just talking about this. And yeah, such is life. I think I'll leave it at that for today. Peace. It's Prince Ash. Take it easy.